My dear Wormwood, be sure that the patient remains completely fixated on politics. Arguments, political gossip, and obsessing on the faults of people they have never met serves as an excellent distraction from advancing in personal virtue, character, and the things the patient can control. Make sure to keep the patient in a constant state of angst, frustration, and general disdain toward the rest of the human race in order to avoid any kind of charity or inner peace from further developing. Ensure the patient continues to believe that the problem is out there in the broken system rather than recognizing there is a problem with himself. Keep up the good work, Uncle Screwtape. This particular excerpt was not written by C.S. Lewis in the Screwtape letters. However, the ideas behind it and the ideology within it definitely exists throughout that whole letter. So throughout all of the letters. So the Screwtape letters is essentially C.S. Lewis taking on the role of your affectionate uncle, Screwtape, as he's writing to Wormwood, and it shows all of Screwtape's letters to Wormwood as if it was a dialogue where Wormwood is writing back, and it's Screwtape is basically coaching Wormwood on how to keep the patient or their client, the person that they're working with, away from God. One of the things that I think is interesting that does get mentioned in the Screwtape letters is the point of making the patient either an extreme patriot or an extreme pacifist. Let him begin by treating the patriotism or the pacifism as part of his religion. Then let him, under the influence of partisan spirit, come to regard it as the most important part. Then quietly and gradually nurse him on to the stage at which the religion becomes merely part of the cause, in which Christianity is valued chiefly because of the excellent arguments it can produce in favor of the British war effort or of pacifism. This whole idea, so Screwtape for C.S. Lewis in this writing is he goes through several different aspects of what can draw us into relationship with God or into relationship with the devil. Obviously, he's coaching to grow closer to the devil. And as I said with that first excerpt, which wasn't written by him, but in the spirit of basically avoid letting them truly introspect. Attempt to make them think that everyone else has all these problems, but they themselves can't do anything about it. I started to do an Instagram post on this particular, I'll call it an excerpt, although it's not. And the serenity prayer came to mind. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So as far as the first presidential debate goes, there's not much we can say or do about it. There have been a lot of posts, obviously it was a train wreck, it was a car crash. A lot of people have said the loser of the debate is the American people because these are our two candidates that we can choose between. And honestly, it was, watching children argue with the interruptions and not, there was obvious disrespect and just, fluid hatred on that stage is what it looked like to me and, what I could feel. And I just feel that the Screwtape letters in general really paint a picture of the direction that, in Screwtape letters, it's the European war, that all of that goes, that the devil is the prince of this world, right? And he has infiltrated so much of social media, so much of the mainstream media in general, which tends to be social media too. I've been told that I am the media. And so, but when it's truly examined to say, okay, is the media, filled with the Holy Spirit or is it filled with an alternate spirit? I think it's very clear that it's not of the Holy Spirit. There isn't peace and personal virtue and a whole lot of wholesome character that's being exemplified, I think, on either side of the spectrum, really. But I'm not really here to talk about that in regard to specifically the presidential debates, although this is my response to that, because all that we can do, as I say in nearly every video, is meet people where they are, take people with one interaction at a time, attempt to, just be a good person and not be a single issue voter, not, shove our beliefs down somebody's throat, and just love. Not in a tolerant, your truth is your truth and my truth is my truth, not in a relativism type way, but in the fact that we listen. We ask people questions. We try to understand how they've gotten to where they are, just as we might hope that somebody would want to ask us questions on how we got to where we are. And there's a genuine humility that comes in that we are constantly learning, and the fact that we're learning about each other. And I think that there's a very big part of the Holy Spirit and of who Christ and God is within that, especially when examining the Screwtape letters, seeing what the opposite of that might look like. And so that's basically my response to the presidential debates is I can't change it, you can't change it, none of us can change it, so God grant me the serenity to accept the things I can't change, the courage to change the things I can, which might be, Alec and I have decided to get a, people are starting to put the yard signs out. We're just we cannot strongly endorse either candidate. So we got one that's just one nation under God, because we feel that is an important aspect to remember, an important thing just to remember that we are all God's children, and made in the image of God, everybody, regardless of their belief system. And so we do just want to remember that we are just one nation under God. We aren't one nation under Trump. We aren't one nation under Biden. We are one nation under God. And that is just one thing that we really want to keep at the forefront of our minds and maybe help other people see as well, So those are my thoughts for today. I hope that if you're interested in hearing more of my Catholic perspectives, you subscribe, hit the like button on this video to help promote it through the YouTube algorithm. That's what that does. And comment in the comments. I don't know. I mean, if you want to chat about how the debate actually went and actual points that they attempted to make, feel free. I did watch the entire thing. I didn't get a whole lot from it, other than, we're one nation under God, and, Biden can claim that he is the Democratic Party, or Trump could claim that he is the Republican Party, or this or that, There are a lot of things that go into it, but ultimately we're one nation under God. We have to follow the Holy Spirit's discernment. I'm planning on next week to go through a pamphlet that I have about how Catholics should vote per topic. It actually just breaks down, what is the Catholic belief on border security? What is the Catholic belief on abortion? What is the Catholic belief on socialism or taxation? And so I want to go through that pamphlet and kind of share what I understand to be the Catholic views on a lot of those topics. So God bless. I pray that you have a wonderful week. I'll see patrons. I'll see you guys on Sunday. And I just pray that God grants you the resources that you need to draw closer to Him and to those around you. And I pray you're able to make it a great day. We'll talk to you in the comments.